Adobe Women's FA Cup football is back at Joy Stadium. Top tier Manchester City hosts third division Ipswich Town in the fourth round. For the first time since the sides met here in the second round of this competition 5 years ago. That afternoon saw City hit 10 past the tractor girls en route to lifting their third FA Cup trophy at Wembley, while Ipswich's season was ruled null and void due to the coronavirus pandemic. But Town have rebuilt and are now the unbeaten league leaders of the Women's National League South, set to test themselves against the country's giants once more. Their priorities, of course, lie beyond today's game in their bid to secure automatic promotion to the Women's Championship come the end of this season. But they did reach the quarter-finals of this competition as recently as 3 years ago, and we know that the FA Cup always loves to produce an underdog story. Do they have enough to produce the ultimate upset against one of the title favourites this afternoon? So let's have a look at the team news then, starting with the hosts, and it's a City debut for January signing Rebecca Canuck. Academy graduates Gracie Pryor and Lily Murphy also get the nods, while there are rare starts for Laura Coombs and Chloe Kelly. Viviana Miedemar is in the squad for the first time since October. Bunny Shaw misses out. For Ipswich, Joe Sheehan's named his strongest side for this afternoon's clash. Natalia Negri saved 2 penalties in the second round win over #United, while Sophie Peskett have scored in every cup game so far. At 29, record goalscorer Natasha Thomas brings the average age of this starting 11 up to 23 years old. For many of her teammates, this is a first test against WSL opposition. Final chance then for Gareth Taylor to have a word with his side ahead of kick-off. He won the FA Cup in his first season with Manchester City. He reached the final 3 years ago. This time around, he's backed his players to put together a strong second half of this season, following back-to-back defeats before the winter break. Jill Roord, latest to join the huddle, is captaining Manchester City this afternoon. She actually scored an FA Cup hat-trick against third-tier opposition for Arsenal against Gillingham back in 2021. Well, Joe Sheehan was in charge last time these two sides met, but he spent Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day studying Manchester City matches to ensure that Ipswich are ready to be much more competitive this time around. Wearing the armband for them is Maria Boswell. She is the captain and the leader here, despite being just 22 years old. She has led the third tier's stingiest defence. Just 5 goals they've conceded in the league this season. Grace Lowe is this afternoon's referee in the luminous yellow shirt there to the left of your screen. She's assisted by John Ashworth-Shears and Danielle Whitworth. Lucy May is the fourth official. So the visitors then to get us underway in what is set to be a huge and memorable afternoon for all of these Ipswich Town players. The fourth rounds of the Adobe Women's FA Cup, and a place in the fifth round up for grabs. We saw City's noisy neighbours assert their dominance against West Bromwich Albion on the red side of Manchester yesterday. Now it's the Sky Blues' turn to be put to the test by lower league opposition. Just the 22 places and 2 divisions separate these two sides. But for 90 minutes this afternoon, they have the same opportunity, and that is, of course, to make another step towards Wembley come the end of this season. Harvey searching past to find Chloe Kelly, who has started just 1 WSL game all season, given the injuries to both Lauren Hemp and of course Bunny Shaw more recently. there is perhaps more of an opportunity for her to get some vital minutes, and for the club as well to just get rid of some January interest from other clubs who may be sniffing around for her services. It's going to be a routine claim in the end for Natalia Negri, who, as I mentioned, was the shootout hero against #United. It was a 4-1 win on penalties in the second round. Former Arsenal Academy graduates. She leads the Golden Glove race in the Women's National League South as well. 8 clean sheets from her 11 games. Keela Brown showing a bit too much of the ball there too. Ipswich's number 17, Sophie Pesquet, who we will be keeping a very close eye on this afternoon. She has been their clutch player this season. Last-minute equaliser against # in round 2 to take the game to penalties, and then the winner against Bournemouth in round 3 to set up this afternoon's tie. And they've gone quick with this free kick as well. In from Pesquet, away by Uhavi. Here's the captain, Raud. Rebecca Kennard getting her first few touches in City Sky Blue. She was, of course, the first signing of the January window. 1.5-year deal from Swedish champions Rosengard. And that one's put out of play by Leah Mitchell, who really is a success story of Ipswich's partnership with the Essex Regional Talent Centre. She broke through last season, signed pro in the summer, but now she's the first choice right back. Still just 19 years old, the number 6 for Ipswich. Kasparai, another player who has recently pledged their long-term future to their club. Murphy. Now Raw. Quickly closed down by Natasha Thomas, who is somewhat of an Ipswich Town institution. Not only is she their record appearance maker with more than 220, she's also their record goal scorer. That is more than 150 goals since 2015, and actually more recently became Ipswich's first ever international player when she made her Jamaica debut against France back in October. Uhavi. This is Gracie Pryor, who is using this as a big opportunity, perhaps, for more regular game time this competition. 20 years old herself, she's made 4 Champions League appearances this season. She also made her WSL debut against Crystal Palace before Christmas as well. Alongside this youngster here, Lily Murphy, who gives possession away. So really strong running there by Lucy O'Brien, who is a product of the Ipswich Town Academy system. She's really found her feet this season, yet to score on this FA Cup run, but she does have 7 goals to her name already. There are a number of players in this town side who are very capable with the ball at their feet and dribbling at the opposition. Summer Hughes will give chase to this one. Kasperaj behind it for Manchester City. It's well worked by Chloe Kelly, and Laura Coombs' pass is just out of play. Manchester City midfielder actually scored the opener the last time that these two sides met, when it did finish 10-0 here to Manchester City. Pauline Bremer, Jess Park and Georgia Stanway all scored hat-tricks that afternoon as well. Joe Sheehan has been talking about how he knows how games can get away from sides, especially at this stage in the competition and from their previous experience against Manchester City. So today it's just about competing, and they're trying to keep pace there with Lily Murphy, who is absolutely rapid on the left-hand side. She represented England in the 100-metre sprint, and she really turned on the afterburners there. But it was very diligent tracking by Ipswich Town just to surrender a corner. Could have been much worse. Manchester City go short. Here's Fowler. Infield, Blankila Brown. Ipswich Town had packed the penalty area. It was Megan Waring who got the final touch there as this next delivery comes in, away by Thomas. Harvey. Murphy again. There are 300 Ipswich Town fans who have made the journey today. I'm sure many more watching live on YouTube. So thank you for joining us, and just a reminder that we will be bringing you as much coverage of this competition with live streams on the YouTube channel throughout the course of this season, so please do subscribe. You'll be treated to full match highlights following full time as well. Coombs. Canucks ball in towards Kelly, and Raw was up there as well, couldn't get to that one, and gives away a free kick. Accused there of handling it then. Well, it is Manchester City's first game of the calendar year. They are recently back from a week-long warm weather training camp, when they had open sessions, community coaching and signing sessions as well. It allowed the likes of Rebecca Canuck to integrate. Viviana Miedemar, who is on the bench today, to get back on the grass again. And then also those youngsters to do some additional training as well. We saw that former Manchester United player Nicky Ioze is now part of the coaching team at Manchester City. He was making sure that this youngster here, Lily Murphy, was given plenty of shooting drills as she's fed it through for Uahavi, and that was very well defended by Leah Mitchell. Fowler again, taking responsibility from this set piece. Lofted high by the Australian. Canard got underneath it, and it's off the top of the crossbar. Well, she was known for her goal scoring during her time in Sweden. She's got 12 league goals while she was out there last season. She got the final touch, just couldn't keep the looping effort down. Actually may have come off an Ipswich Town player in the end. Certainly what Grace Lowe says. So it will be another Manchester City corner on this near side. Curled in towards Negri this time. Away by Boswell. Collected this time by Robertson. Manchester City hunting in packs. Uahabi. Out for Murphy. Ipswich didn't quite have the luxury of flying out for warm weather training, so the players did do some extra sessions over Christmas. Unfortunately, their National League match at home to Exeter was cancelled due to freezing conditions last weekend, so this is also their first game of the new year. Good running by Coombs. Flicks goalwards by Bincleda Brown, but only the side netting. Something a bit different though from City. Midfield runners into the wide areas. Bincleda Brown just couldn't flick that one on target. It's always going to be slightly behind her. Slightly difficult to find that angle. Kasparai. Clark's searching ball, headed clear by Waring. Only as far as Chloe Kelly on this near side, and now Kasparai can weigh up her options. It's a lovely through ball by Canark, and it's wrought into Mary Fowler. Brilliant block there. Megan Waring again behind it, the Scotland under-19 international. Sensed the danger and put her body on the line to good effect. Still though, the waves of Manchester City attack come. Murphy. Well, 15 minutes gone. Natalia Negri has not been made to work too hard. Manchester City have had a deflected header come off the top of the crossbar. But Ipswich have been tracking back and across the pitch very well, very effectively. It is a settled back five that they have at the moment. They also have Grace Garrad sat just in front of the back four. It's a system that they are very, very familiar with. How coolly done was that? Out for Murphy. Trying to show her explosive pace on the left-hand side, but Boswell was equal to it. Canuck. Murphy. Very quickly closed down by Sophie Peskett, but she managed to fashion it across the face of goal. Peskett will clear under pressure. Canuck. It's a neat turn by Jill Rood. Murphy strayed into an offside position. Slight issue for Maria Boswell, who is now into her second full year as the captain of Ipswich Town. Has been at the club since 2019. She won't want to miss a second of this opportunity up against one of the giants of the English game. On back by Binkila Brown. His only FA Cup goal of her career did come in this round 2 seasons ago. For Aston Villa, it was an 11-0 victory against AFC Fylde. Canuck again, looking to stretch the lines. Hughes. O'Brien caught in possession. Maybe now Ipswich may be pulled out of position. It's Rood at the strike and it's found its way all the way through. Natalia Negri dived to her right, but she couldn't stop the strike. Rood picked her spots and let fly. Negri got a hand to it, but the captain's shot had too much power on it. And Manchester City do break the deadlock. It's taken them just under 20 minutes to do so, but the favourites go a goal ahead. Well, it is quite easy to forget, given just how quickly she's rediscovered her form, that about 12 months ago was when Jill Rood suffered that ACL injury. She spent 8 months out. She returned ahead of schedule, scoring 3 goals in quick succession on her return. And now she has just opened up Manchester City's accounts in this season's FA Cup as well, with the captain's armband on, no less. is Canuck. Manchester City, of course, in the second half of this season are still competing on four fronts, so there is the opportunity to strengthen. Canuck, the first arrival of this window, but Charlotte O'Neill, the managing director of the club since 2023, has already said that they have at least one more transfer done, and then other deals that they are working on as well. Exciting times for City as Rord bursts forward into the box again. Very well defended by Leah Mitchell again. Ipswich Town's best ever finish came 3 seasons ago in this competition when they reached the quarter-finals. It was there that they suffered a 1-0 defeat to West Ham United. And last season they were knocked out in this round by Charlton, losing 4-1 at home. Joe Sheehan did say in his pre-match press conference that it is an exciting occasion. It's a great opportunity to play the likes of Manchester City, but they did want to draw a team where it was much more of a level playing field. Just the 1 goal in it so far, though, as we get past the midway point of this first half. Canucks switch of play, bringing Chloe Kelly into action. Fowler. Ipswich are doing everything they can off the field as well to make their sides that bit more professional and go up through the levels with the right infrastructure around the team. We spoke about them being unbeaten at the top of the table in the 3rd tier, with Women's Championship promotion very much their objective. Behind the scenes, they brought in Lauren Phillips, a former technical coach with Southampton Women. She was appointed earlier this week. She's already worked with a number of the players in the team, and she played a crucial role with Southampton, helping them achieve championship promotion, and also with their transition to being a full-time football team as well. She'll be doing a similar role, no doubt, in Suffolk. This doesn't look good for Natalia Negri. I think it was following that most recent clearance. 20-year-old goalkeeper immediately went to the grounds. It's always a concerning sight when your goalkeeper under no pressure at all is unable to continue. We'll keep an eye on that one. For now, though, the outfield players just getting their instructions from the respective coaches, Gareth Taylor and Joe Sheehan as well. So coming up to 26 minutes gone in this first half, and so far just the 1 goal separating these two sides. It was Jill Rord who did break the deadlock on the 20th minute. Her 4th goal of the season. Nothing that Negri could do about it, but the good news is she's back on her feet now, the goalkeeper. It is an incredibly cold afternoon in Manchester, as it has been throughout the week. If you're not in the UK, there has been a cold snap across the whole country. A number of games being postponed. Ipswich have certainly felt the effects of that. Sunday's game against Exeter called off due to freezing conditions and heavy rainfall, and then the previous round's fixture against Bournemouth was also postponed by a week prior to Christmas due to heavy rainfall as well. We do have state-of-the-art facilities here at the Joy Stadium, which does mean that the pitch is in great condition. We are still in the minuses in terms of temperature. Away by Coombs. And for the second time, here's Murphy, switching flanks with Kelly. Clark's ball is looking for the England international, slightly too far ahead of her, but the thumbs up of appreciation from Kelly. Hughes battling with Rord. Kasparai. Murphy slipped under pressure. She actually scored her first senior goal here last time out against St Polton. 2-0 win in the Women's Champions League. And of course, Man City still going very strong in that competition as well, booking their quarter-final spot with 2 group stage games to play. Thomas's foul on Gracie Pryor. Keela Brown. Murphy, one-on-one with Maisie Barker for the first time. And gets around her too. Not only as far as Coombs. Ipswich back in their numbers. Kelly. Getting round Mitchell. It will be a Manchester City corner. It's a common theme from these corners. Mary Fowler standing over them. This time she goes short to Coombs and then back to Fowler to find Kasparai. Away by Thomas. There's a slight glimmer of hope there for Lucy O'Brien, who was giving chase up against Kasparai. At the moment, that is all that Ipswich have been reduced to. City dominating possession, much as we would have expected. Murphy away from Maisie Barker again. Plenty of green grass to run into. Gets around Waring too, and really miscues the cross at the end of it. The run deserved more. You see Roard at the far post there asking for the pullback rather than a more of a lofted cross, which is what Lily Murphy went for in the end. Kasparai again. Touched inside by Roard. On back by O'Brien. And cleared by Boswell. Nobody home though for Ipswich Town, so just get back into their defensive structure once more and try to weather the storm as Roard bursts forward. She held her run. Boswell's quick, and Waring had the awareness for Negri to come and collect. Megan Waring was the club's December Player of the Month, the left-sided centre-back. Made her 50th senior Ipswich appearance back in November. She did learn her trade in her early days in the academies of both Arsenal and Millwall as well. Clearance lacking direction. It's been a common trend for Ipswich that when they do get on the ball, don't seem to retain their composure. Manchester City certainly benefiting from that. Little heavy from Coombs. Harvey. That's a lovely turn by Chloe Kelly. Time to pick the pass, but cleared by Grace Garrad. Chloe Kelly showing her quality there, just leaving two players in her wake. Two clearances though from Boswell. Roard. Kelly's cross was charged out. Sophie Pesquet getting herself right behind it. She's not had anywhere near enough of the ball, the Ipswich creator-in-chief, but she is doing her defensive work, just like the rest of her team. O'Brien, fouled by Kasparai, and that will relieve a little bit of the strain on the Ipswich back line, who, as you can tell there, have had to do a lot of running in this first half, and will now just be able to get their breath back. They've done well though. They have reduced Manchester City to half chances at best, goal aside. They have still looked very compact defensively. City have had to work hard to break them down, the third-tier opposition. Here comes Robertson. Every time Ipswich seem to emerge with possession in midfield, they're very quickly outnumbered. Gareth Taylor's got his team pressing in numbers. Pryor. So good friends. Murphy on the right-hand side. Kelly's ball looking for Fowler. Well read by Boswell, and Hughes won't be able to get on the end of that one. So now back in Manchester City's spell. Ward stretches to keep that one in. Gnark. Kelly the runner. Will Harvey there with her. Keela Brown. Lovely drop of the shoulder there to bring Murphy into play. Up against Barker. Murphy inside, going for goal, and just couldn't keep the effort down. Much more promising though from the 18-year-olds. This time going inside. As mentioned, it is the first game of the calendar year for both of these sides. For Manchester City, their 2024 included 29 victories of their 36 games across all competitions. That included 18 out of 22 in the league. They only actually drew once across the whole campaign, so 6 of those were defeats. But not many of them coming after the turn of the year. They were strong finishers last season, just as we expect them to be this time around. They actually set a new league record for 14 consecutive wins in the competition. With the likes of Miedemar returning, and hopefully Lauren Hemp and Bunny Shaw not too far away in their recovery, they will be able to pick up momentum across all fronts. Gasperai. Barker has had a pretty tough afternoon since Lily Murphy has switched flanks to go one-on-one against her. She responded well there. she's definitely more of a front-footed fullback. 22 years old, she is one of the more experienced players in the Ipswich squad. She actually made her professional debut against Manchester City in the WSL with West Ham United a few seasons back. She has been at Ipswich now for 2 years. She even scored the opening goal in the second round win over #United, a former loan side of hers. Murphy. Again, Barker equal to it. Fowler gives it to Thomas. Again, neat footwork, but now just lacking the calmness, the composure when they are in possession. Ipswich to just find that next pass and ensure that they hold on to possession, just as Boswell's done there. This ball is going to come straight back her way. Just to give you an idea of the mismatch on paper, Natasha Thomas, the number 7 for Ipswich Town, is the only senior international in their side. There are only 2 non-senior internationals in the Manchester City side, but both of them are representing their country at youth international level. Everyone else very much established within their national team setup as Kelly tried to burst through. Uahavi. Now Kelly, marked very closely by Sophie Peskett, who did say Chloe Kelly is an idol of hers. Uahavi, crossing opportunity and just about dealt with by Ipswich. Peskett loses out to Kelly, only at the expense of a goal kick.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes of time on, a minimum of 2 minutes.
Two more minutes then for Joe Sheehan to watch his side keep Manchester City from scoring more goals in this first half. They've done well to keep it to just 1. City's chances have been few and far between. Ipswich haven't threatened at all. But what they have done is they've made it incredibly difficult for City to operate in the spaces that they're used to. I think the visiting manager will be very proud of his team's performance at the interval, and maybe even sense an opportunity to be a bit more progressive in the second half. Kasparaj, it's their time for one final Manchester City attack in this first period. Here goes Barker. Well, it has been a first half that Manchester City have dominated possession-wise. They have had lion's share of the ball, but so far it is just the one goal scored by Jill Roord that separates these two sides. Change as the game goes on, and if the score does stay within reach, we are expecting, of course, the gaps to open up as Ipswich start to tire, but they do still have a full suite of substitutions to make in this second half, just to keep things fresh as we go through this tie. Then the first 45 minutes, it was City who dominated possession. They were restricted to only a handful of chances, though. Ipswich certainly have played their part in this cup tie so far. Uwahabi. Canuck. The goal scorer, Jill Roord, wearing the captain's armband for City this afternoon. Joe Sheehan, the Ipswich manager, did openly admit in his pre-match media duties that there may be phases of the game where Ipswich do need to make totally different decisions to the ones that they would do if they were playing league football. Like that one there from Natasha Thomas, just trying to poke one over the top rather than keep the ball on the deck. But he said that the big thing that they wanted to leave on the field was just being competitive this afternoon. They know what it feels like to come here and lose heavily. 10-0 score last time out will certainly have left an impression, just as that challenge did from Maria Boswell on Jill Roord. Perfectly fair though. Just strong in the execution. The defender certainly would have enjoyed that one much more than the midfielder. Uwahabi. Now Fowler. Her delivery is a good one towards that far post, and it just ran away from Laura Coombs right at the last second. Manchester City have been watering the pitch. Of course, it has been frosty here in Manchester as well, so the ball just skipping up off the turf at the crucial moment away from the English midfielder. Good news is that Natalia Negri has been able to make it out for the second half. She did sustain a bit of an injury from one of her clearances in the first 45 minutes. Seems to be moving okay again now, though, the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. She may be a bit busier in this second half. Good work by Kelly. Keela Brown held off by O'Brien, but does eventually emerge with possession. Kasparaj for Murphy! Negri did get the final touch. It's a good stop by the goalkeeper. Knew exactly what she wanted to try, and it was just flicked wide of the bottom corner by the 20-year-old stopper. That goes down as a very good save. Fowler onto her left foot to deliver this time, and it wasn't too far away from finding the back of the net on that occasion either. Gracie Pryor arriving at some speed too, at that near post. Just trying to get any body part she could on the ball in the end. Sends it whistling wide. Man City have certainly come out of the gates for their second period. The sharper and brighter team. Pryor takes a clattering challenge from Garat, who is shown a yellow card for her troubles. So Grace Garat, the Ipswich number 5, the first player into the book this afternoon. And even though Ipswich have defended very resolutely, they haven't actually committed too many fouls. It's been above board from the visiting side. The most recent challenge, the clear outlier. Fowler, first time in, and it's cleared away. O'Brien had to get that one right, and she did just that. Needed to be quicker with the final bit of decision-making, though. Kasparai. Sophie Peskett doing all of the pressing by herself, the Ipswich number 17. Fowler. Murphy unable to take it in her stride. City are the 3-time winners of this competition since the 2016 season, when they lifted it for the first time in the summer of 2017. They won back-to-back trophies between 2018 and 2020, but they've not managed to do so since. Of course, they got all the way to the final at Wembley 3 years ago before losing 3-2 to Chelsea, thanks to a late strike from Sam Kerr. And they have actually been knocked out in back-to-back quarter-finals in the past 2 seasons. The last time was against Tottenham on penalties. So we certainly feel as though they have a point to prove in this competition, given how convincingly Manchester United got off to their FA Cup campaign yesterday against West Bromwich Albion. I think City would have probably wanted to lay down a similar marker this afternoon, but it's not all gone their way. Ipswich have made it tough for them. Despite the hosts passing the visitors off the park, Still, it is just that one goal that separates them. Here's Pryor. Not too much movement ahead of her in blue. The Fowler has spotted the run of Rawn. Nice footwork to get away from Robertson. And the ball in was good too, and it's off the crossbar before eventually being tapped home. And it's a familiar sight. Laura Coombs scoring against Ipswich Town. All of the work done on this left-hand side by Jill Rawn, who scored the first and is now the architect of the second. The first strike cannoning off the woodwork before she was able to pounce from close range. Laura Coombs back in the team, back on the score sheets. She's had to be incredibly patient this season for her opportunities. But she has opened her account for the 2024-25 season now. So City then double their advantage, much more of a cushion now. And for Ipswich, who haven't really created any chances this afternoon. That slither of hope that they may have had of reaching the next round of the competition is getting thinner and thinner. If they are to make some sort of response, the Joe Sheehan side need to do it sooner rather than later. They also need to be careful that this game doesn't get too far away from them. Saw yesterday with Manchester United, most of the damage was done in the final 15 minutes. A handful of goals scored against the Baggies. Summer Hughes winning back possession for Ipswich. Kelly. Coombs was pointing where she wanted it. She's continued her run forwards. Now the taste for goal scoring, Laura Coombs. And she's into a good area again. And pushed away by Natalia Negri. Well, it's amazing what a first goal does for your confidence. She only had one thing on her mind. City with a corner. Fowler goes short once more. I think those centre-backs who have made the long run forward and are now trudging all the way back to their own half, Rebecca Canark and Gracie Pryor, will probably say that's a missed opportunity and a frustration that Manchester City weren't able to get the ball into the box there. Kasparai. That's a clever run by Lily Murphy, who's in behind. He'll be kept alive by Chloe Kelly. Robertson blocks the cross. Not sure whether it was a pass or a shot from Murphy, but Harvey will look to benefit, and it was charged down again before Kelly fires just wide of that top corner. So much power behind that strike. She knew exactly what she was going for. Short backlift, not too far away from nestling in the top corner. So 3 changes for Gareth Taylor. And the first one will get a big round of applause. Lily Murphy, who had the most recent opportunity there, replaced by a summer arrival who the City fans haven't seen too much of, and it's her first appearance back since October, Viviana Miedema. Laura Coombs' number also held up to be replaced like for like in midfield by Jess Park, who does have a career hat-trick against Ipswich Town in this competition. And then Gracie Pryor, a young centre-back, replaced by a bit more experience in Laia Alexandri. And in response, Joe Sheehan will make one change. And it's Lucy O'Brien who has certainly put in the hard yards this afternoon to be replaced by a bit more of the goal-scoring threat in the form of Ella Rutherford, who really is lethal from outside of the area. She actually scored on her Ipswich Town debut against Exeter at St James's Park earlier this season following her summer arrival. She was previously at Charlton. She spent 8 years as a senior pro. This is her 6th different club, but she is settling in quite nicely now. 5 goals to her name this season already, Ella Rutherford. Her task is to try to get Ipswich on the scoreboard. Fowler. Roard. I think Gareth Taylor will probably use this final half hour or so just to get Laia Alexandri used to playing alongside Rebecca Canuck. Of course, they are still going to be without Alex Greenwood for a while longer. We are seeing a blossoming defensive partnership towards the end of this afternoon's tie. Park. Fowler beaten to it by Leah Mitchell. Fowler. Space to look up. Coming aside another corner. City have almost exclusively gone short from these situations. As expected, it is Jess Bark who runs over to offer the option. Much more conventional though this time from Fowler. It was Kanak who was climbing, and it was cleared from just under her own crossbar by Megan Waring. Kanak has caused issues when the ball has just been delivered straight into the penalty area. See if she can be third time lucky here. Fowler's ball in again, it's deep. And away by Boswell. Kelly's foul. Park. Kasparai invited to join this attack. Fowler was surely brought down. It will be a Manchester City free kick. Maisie Barker tripping the Australian. So Fowler or Park, it looks as though it will be the Australian once more. On her favoured left foot. 4 goals this season for Fowler. Much more of an angled delivery this time. Miedemar's up there, as is Kelly, and it was charged down by Garrett. Fowler keeps things alive. Ward on the volley, there's Miedemar. Still City try to take advantage of this situation, and eventually Ipswich are relieved with a free kick. Kasparai unchallenged. Summer Hughes is a long way away from where Garrad thought she was. Fowler's ball in, over the head of Miedemar. Back now from surgery on her left knee, Viviana Miedemar. The all-time record goal scorer in the WSL, of course, but has never won this competition. She was a 2-time runner-up with Arsenal. Harvey. Robertson gets there first. It's a nice take by Pesquet. He was going to be asking a lot of Rutherford on this near side with that pass. Canard got in the way anyway. Manchester City have got a double header against Manchester United coming up next. Manchester derby at Etihad Stadium next Sunday. 6:45 kickoff, the first time this season that the two Manchester clubs go head-to-head. As Roard is through and cleared away by Megan Waring. Only as far as Blinkila Brown, and Waring throwing herself in front of the ball again. What a game she's had, the 19-year-old centre-back. Out of possession here, though. Miedema. Park was waiting for the pullback. Park gets the pullback, as does Chloe Kelly, and again it's Megan Waring in the way. Fowler. Waring's header. Blinkila Brown. Miedema to Jess Park. Well, the build-up play was slick by Manchester City. Park just getting underneath the effort in the end.
Substitution for Ipswich Town coming off number 7, Natasha Thomas.
Natasha Thomas
14, Lucy Watson.
is off now. The Ipswich Town legend, replaced by their newest recruit, Lucy Watson, on loan from Chelsea. Only joined the club on Friday. It's her second loan spell of the season, the 21-year-old. She made just 2 League Cup appearances for Southampton before Christmas. She hasn't had too much luck on loan, very much mixed success. She did her ACL on loan with Charlton during the 2022-23 season. Last season was certainly much better for her, helping Crystal Palace achieve promotion to the WSL. There goes Roard again, this time popping up on the right-hand side. Waring's header wasn't quite away. Doing just enough defensively, Ipswich, to keep this score down. The travelling Ipswich fans doing everything they can to lift their team for this final 20 minutes. They would love something to celebrate before beginning their long journey home. Nicely done by Roard. The ball does stay in play. Kelly. Kelly bundled over by Watson. Grace Lowe wasn't quite ready for the free kick to be taken. Not once, but twice. Now Kelly gets the signal. Rorts combining with Kelly, and Mitchell stayed with her. Some lovely touch by Uahabi. The ball in wasn't the worst either, and it's been met by Kasparai. And the deflection took all of the power off it and allowed Natalia Negri to gather. Sat up so nicely on the bounce for the Netherlands international. He's only scored 1 goal for the club, Kerstin Kasparai. And that did come in the last game here against St Polten. Had to wait a long time before opening her accounts. Here's Miedema with a chance and wrapping it up surely. Welcome back, Viviana Miedema. Such a confident finisher. And Manchester City will be delighted to have her back on the pitch. Set up perfectly by Chloe Kelly. And time just seemed to stand still for the modern game's most prolific marksman. Viviana Miedema with her 2nd goal this season. Manchester City 3 up now. And it will feel harsh on Ipswich, who have worked tirelessly to keep this scoreline down. But given the quality in the Manchester City squad, you can say that just 3-0 is probably testament to how well Ipswich have played this afternoon. Certainly defensively. Although, as I mentioned before, this is where Manchester United really picked up through the gears in yesterday's game against West Bromwich Albion. And they started to find the back of the nets on multiple occasions in the final 15 minutes. Park was released by Miedema. Kelly. First time delivery's a good one. Ward couldn't connect with it at the near post. It will come for Fowler. That's away by Waring. Fowler at the 2nd attempt. Cleared by Boswell this time. Park. So tidy in possession, Jess Park. Miedema, that familiar languid style that she has. Lays it out wide. Fowler. Out and behind once more by Megan Waring. See exactly why she was voted Ipswich's Player of the Month last, well, just before Christmas, I should say. She has been at the top of her game this afternoon. Anything near her, she's either thrown her body in front of, or she's managed to clear. Fowler's ball in. Peskett. just on her own at the moment, but fancies herself up against 3 City players. She got past 2, she wasn't getting around Kasparai. Yamashita took a bit of a risk there. The most convincing pass from the Japanese international in goal, who has had a very, very quiet afternoon. Here comes Park, roared on by the City fans. Jess Park to go alone and pushed away again by Natalia Negri. Not for the first time this afternoon that she's had to dive down to her right-hand side and flick one wide of the post. Into the final 10 minutes then. City 3 goals to the good here at the Joy Stadium. It's a familiar corner routine. All the way across before finding Fowler free again on the wing. It's a teasing ball in. Negri seemed confident enough to leave that one, and she was validated in her decision as well. She does have another issue, the goalkeeper. May even be the same one as in the first half. While Negri received treatment, let's take a look at how Man City got their 3rd goal of this afternoon. Viviana Miedema back on the pitch, just seemed to stroll into space there. And after receiving the pass, well, there was never any doubt, was there? Negri could do all that she possibly could to try to narrow that angle. Miedema, he's just so cool-headed in those situations and buried it into the bottom corner. For Ipswich, this has been an education more than anything, but it's certainly been a marked improvement on the last visit they had to the Joy Stadium, and I guess the positives are there for Joe Sheehan to see, and also for Lauren Phillips as well, who is just issuing those tactical instructions there with the board. It is a young side. It is a side comprised of 21 and 22-year-olds for the most part. There are a few teenagers in the 11 as well for Ipswich. And for many of them, this is the first time that they will come up against this level of opposition, these international players, and they'll be able to take that experience with them into their next game, which will seem like quite the come down, certainly, against #United away in the 3rd tier. It's a side actually that they're facing for the 4th time already this season. Having already played them in the league, they lost to them in the National League Cup, and of course they beat them in the 2nd round of the FA Cup on penalties as well. So a side that they are well versed in facing. Here's Pescott, who's played it through, and it's Lucy Watson with a real chance here to pull one back. Watson still. Well defended by Kerstin Kasparai. That is the closest that Ipswich have come to troubling Manchester City's goal. A glimmer of hope for this Ipswich side, who would love nothing more than to register a shot on target or a goal in this game. They have a corner. Some big targets in the area as well. Waring's there. She was primed and ready to attack that ball. Just taken off the centre-back's head by Viviana Miedema. And if there is any player in Ipswich Town colours this afternoon, who has deserved, or does deserve, a goal. It is Megan Waring, who has been colossal in her efforts at centre-back this afternoon. Park. Now Uhabi playing much more centrally as this game goes on. Braun. Kelly. Towards Viviana Miedema, who gave the eyes before nearly finding the far corner. That one back by Alexandri. Kelly. Reverse ball looking for Uhabi. Less than 5 minutes to go.
Substitution for Ipswich Town, number 17, Sophie Peskin has been replaced by number 9, Isabella Fisher.
So 3 changes then. Peskett's perfect record in the competition isn't sustained, unfortunately, as she leaves the field, but she certainly put in the effort. She's replaced by Arsenal dual registry Isabella Fisher. Lizzie Bryant is the next player on. She was a cult hero in this competition for a penalty shootout goal in the 2022 win against Southampton when they reached their first ever quarter-final. Ipswich Town. And then the final change, we'll see Eloise King also join the action. She's a lifelong Ipswich Town fan who came through the WSL Academy setup. So King on for Garrett. Actually, Angela Addison, who was a player that was late to be named in the squads this afternoon, is now tracking back here, trying to catch up with Uhabi. Cleared from inside the 6-yard box. Kasparai clipping one in. Oh, Isabella Fisher colliding there with certainly a sore one, that one. Rebecca Canuck seems to not have come off as badly as the 17-year-old Isabella Fisher. That is Rebecca Canuck's welcome to English football there. It's a sore one. She's okay, so that's the good news. Ipswich Town's teenager Isabella Fisher just requiring a bit more attention, so hopefully there will be good news surrounding her as well. Of course, concussion protocol is so important these days. While she does receive treatment, Isabella Fisher, why don't we have a look at how Manchester City got themselves ahead in this game. 7 minutes are allocated. So 20 minutes in then, and after Man City had been huffing and puffing in the opening exchanges, Jill Roord found a pocket of space and then rifled this one in past the outstretched Natalia Negri, who probably couldn't see it until quite late there. That's what gave City the lead, and then after the restarts, Laura Coombs was on hand after Jill Roord went from goal scorer to goal creator. Her ball in, causing all sorts of problems. And when Negri couldn't prevent that one from hitting the crossbar, Coombs was able to pounce from close range and open her accounts for the season. It's not quite the introduction to an FA Cup game that Isabella Fisher would have wanted. Clash of heads just mere minutes after coming on, but she's back on her feet and there was a smile on her face as well, so that is reassuring to see. And we will now get back underway with a drop ball. Ipswich were in possession, so they will hold on to it here. Given away, Rutherford. Off goes Kasparai, who can really turn on the afterburners now. Lacey Barker did so well there because she had a few yards to make up. Keela Brown. Watson try to drag Ipswich back up the field and look for Fisher. Back on the pitch now, sporting the red headbands. Back by Leah Mitchell. There's another one into the channel for Fisher to chase. Keela Brown through the lines, looking for Park, who won't be able to get there and keep that one in play. Well, the Adobe Women's FA Cup 5th round draw will take place on Monday, live from Wembley Stadium, right here on the official YouTube channel. with the next stage of the competition taking place on the weekend of Sunday, February the 9th. 16 clubs will be contesting 8 ties. And just looking across the results of the games being played at the moment, Newcastle United 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest heading into injury time. Sunderland have put 7 goals past Exeter City, who are of course in the same division as Ipswich. Who can come forward here? Robertson. Lacking conviction with the pass. And easy for Rebecca Canuck to deal with. Number of other WSL sides still to play. Of course, a number of postponements as well. Everton and Spurs. That game was postponed. Brighton against Durham, that too was postponed. Crystal Palace are being made to wait before facing Sheffield United. So too are Arsenal against Bristol City. But later this afternoon we will see Chelsea against Charlton. We'll see Aston Villa against Bristol. And we may see a 4th goal here for Manchester City. That was until the offside flag was raised. Raw. Park. Just over 30 seconds to remain. And she fancies getting them on the front foot once more. Maisie Barker back there covering. Uahabi. For a second looked as though she may have been lining up a shot of her own. Addison. Fisher. Uahabi. Kelly's got the pace to get there. Held by Negri. There's a nice tap on the boot of Miedemar as well from the former Arsenal Academy goalkeeper. The two of them will know each other well from training. But there is the final whistle. Manchester City continue to fight on all 4 fronts this season by booking their spots in the 5th rounds of the Adobe Women's FA Cup.